Hello dear friends, and welcome to the second part of the web scraping with Laravel tutorial. If you haven't seen the first part, I suggest you to see it. It's in the same playlist, and in the first part I was basically giving a small introduction and showing how to set up the packages and the whole project that we're gonna use. In this part we're going to actually start scraping, and I might even make a third part because I don't want the videos to be too long. So let us begin. Right, so what I want to do is I want to actually be able, there are many ways we can do this, but for a basic purpose I'd like to be able to enter the URL of the website I want to scrape as a param. Something like this, URL equals HTTP something something, and then I want like to scrape it. So for this I'm gonna get the request here. Let's see if I need to import. It's already imported, and I'm gonna get the URL. Request get URL. It's gonna be the URL. I always like to test to see that I don't have some kind of mistake. So whatever, just gonna write whatever. Great. So it's working. Okay, let me comment that for you. So maybe I'll give you access to this code later so you can quickly use it. So this is just get URL param for scraping, and now let us init the Gazelle client. Init Gazelle is really simple. It's just creating a new client, and it already recognized it is Gazelle right here. Great, and now I'm just gonna have to run a GET request with Gazelle. So if I'm not mistaken, I think I can just do GET. So it's getting two params. The first one, I think let's do it request. So the method is GET, and the second param is gonna be the URL, right? So that's very simple. That's how Gazelle sends a GET request. And now I'm just gonna get the headers, let me call it the response header, which will be, of course, response. So the response header is gonna be get. You know what? I don't need the response header. I just need the response status code, and I'm also gonna want the response body, which is just the response of get body. Alright, this is pretty good. I'm gonna var dump dd the response status code, which I'm expecting to be 200, which means the request was successful. Now let's find some website to scrape, and I was thinking, for the sake of the example, to find some kind of top 100, some kind of top 100 list maybe. Alright. So maybe I'll just pick anyone. I hope this works. Let's see, top 100 songs. Let me just quickly look if this is something we can work with. I believe we can. Yeah, whatever, let's say I could see. Okay, we'll try this one. If it doesn't work, we'll try another one, because in case it's lazy loaded, like with JSON, maybe we'll have to use another website. But let's start with it. So for the URL, I'm gonna enter this URL, and let's see what we get. We get 200. That's perfect. So the response is good. So instead of dumping it and just say if the response status code equals 200, then we can proceed. The response body will actually not print what we need. Let me show you what it's gonna return. Response body is gonna return, if I go back here, it's gonna return us, gonna give us yeah, it's just gonna give us some kind of string, but I want the actual contents, so I'm gonna get the contents. I could even do it in one line. I could do it like this, right? So now we're supposed to get, tada, the HTML of the page. Yeah, it seems nice. If this would be lazy loading, if for this website the results would be loaded with Ajax from a JSON, kind of a JSON request, so this page would be much smaller, but as you can see, we get the whole page data. So this is a good website for testing. Once again, I apologize for billboard.com. There is no bad intent. Just for learning purposes, we're gonna use it, and that's all. Okay, so actually I might just call it the HTML, because it's basically the HTML of the page. But now we get just raw HTML, and we need to parse it somehow to be able to actually go over the elements, because this is just text. This is just text with all kind of line breaks here and stuff. I don't need it, so this is where the Sunra comes into play. Let's just go for a sec to Sunra PHP Simple parser documentation. Let's look at this documentation. I think it can be shown here. How to get HTML elements. I just don't remember how to initiate it. I think we'll call it DOM. And I think it's called HTML Simple. Wait, I'm searching for it. Okay, let me just take a peek for a second. Okay, I apologize about that. I just needed to look at the previous scraper I built to see how I implemented it, and it's actually done like this. This is the class. It's a static method. Not really recommended, but for this purpose it will be okay. So Sunra PHP Simple HTML DOM parser, and str get HTML is basically parsing this HTML. So if we print the DOM, we can already see something that suits our needs. Great, so it shows us all the nodes of the page. A node is just an element, so if it's a div, if it's a link, if it's an image, it already knows how to parse it. And all I actually have to do right now is to understand how this page is built. Every website is a bit different, and hopefully it has a good enough class. So the inspector helps a lot, so I can see all the elements, and this seems to be a CS. This seems to be a parent. Yeah. So it has a class of a chart list item. Great. So I already know that each one of these guys has a class of the chart list item. And now all I have to do is to use the find method to find the element I need. It's really simple with the Sunra. Let's just put this class here for a second, this class name. So I'm gonna say song item is gonna equal to the DOM find. The DOM is gonna find a div, or actually all divs which have attribute class of chart list item. Great. So actually it is song items. So it must be an array. If I print out the song items, I'm printing everything because I want to show you what's happening. Yeah, you see each one of these is actually a song. Great, so I also supposed to have 100, so if I'll just count them, I'm supposed to have 100. See that I'm not wrong? Yeah, exactly 100. Great, it's working as expected, so all I need to do now is to loop them. So I'm gonna use a for each loop. I'm gonna loop them as a song item, which actually goes one by one. And now all I have to do is to decide what are the data, what is the data I want to extract. So let's say I want the song name, okay? And the song name has this interesting class. This is the class of the song name, and it's a span. Okay. So I know the element, I know the class name. Sometimes in some websites it's a bit more challenging. Sometimes they don't have class names. So we have to go to find other methods to extract the name. But for this purpose, I'm just gonna use it. Yeah, let's put it on the side. So I say that the song title is gonna equal the song item. I'm using the same method, the same function find. This time the element is a span, and I know that its class name is this one. So you know what, I don't want to make a mess. I'm gonna make a little counter here. I'm gonna make it equal to 1, and then I'm gonna plus it, so the counter is gonna run, and then I'm gonna say that only if the count is 1, which means actually print only the first result. Okay, because it doesn't matter for us now that I don't want to loop it, you know, just to save us some resources. Okay, so let's DD the song title. Am I getting it? I suppose supposed to get it. Let's see. Nice. So this is the element itself. If we look at it, it's basically some kind of an object with all kind of parameters. So we can get its attribute, we can get its children. This one doesn't have a children. We can get, okay, so this is the text node. This is actually what we need because we want the text inside the object. So Sunra DOM parser also has a very simple method for that, and of course it's just called text. Oh, can't, I know what's the problem. It says we can't call a function text on an array. This is because we're looking for a class name here. So even though there is only one span of this class inside of the song, yeah, right here, Sunra doesn't know it. So we actually need to specify that we want the only the index 0, so only the first item. We can also actually see it. I think we could see it in the when we printed it. Let me see. Let me show you. Okay, so if we don't specify, we get an array, see? Where 0 is the index of the first span, even though there is only 1. So if we do specify that we want only the 0, it's gonna return this simple object, simple HTML DOM node. Let's see. Right. Now it's not inside an array, it's just an object. Great. So now we can get the text. Great. Here we go. We have the text. Sure, it has all kind of spaces. You can easily solve it with, let's say, maybe trim the white spaces. You can do all kind of stuff. Sometimes maybe you have other tags in here and you can just run strip tags or something like that. So we can just grab the text from here now. I don't need to separate it anymore. And if for the sake of comfort, okay, I'm actually limited to 15 minutes of recording time, so I'm gonna stop here and we're gonna finish up the scraper in the final and the third part of the tutorial. Thank you guys.